Okay, should be recording. So, this is Steve at Pokersism. We've had a go at doing a few of these videos, but for one reason or another they've gone wrong. Sound, I was eating a lot in one of them, which didn't sound too pretty. Various other things. I have noticed that I've noticed watching a few of my attempts at recording, watching a few of them back, how not bad I am, but almost bad I am. Prone to tilt more than I realised. I play a lot looser than I realised. I go really weak tight in spots. Here's one spot here on the bottom right hand table where I won't be weak tight. I think we'll just bet and then jam, or call a jam. We are streets ahead and hold. Yeah, so this will be our first kind of. Oh, and some of them just went really long and this and that, various things. Anyway, we'll try and clip this at around about 30 minutes. And it'd just be an introduction to what we're trying to do, give you a bit of an insight as to how we play, and so on and so forth. Also give hopefully give a reasonably accurate picture of what it's like playing at the micros, the microiest of micros on Sky Poker. These are the very lowest limits that you can play. Seeing as we've got a bit of lag going on. So briefly, we are doing a bankroll challenge, going from 4NL to being rolled to play live, and so far so good, really. We're doing very aggressive bankroll management. Started off with 10 buy-ins for 4NL, so £40. Spun that up to roughly 450, I think, something like that. So we were well rolled for playing 10NL. We did have to withdraw though for one or two reasons. We've withdrawn £325 recently, so our bankroll's not looking great. What is it? 184. I mean, that's absolutely tons for playing at these stakes, and we could arguably play a mixture of this and 10NL, which we will be doing. But as this is the first video, I thought, and as we started at 4NL, give you a bit of an idea of what it's like to play at these levels. We are actually playing one 10NL table here. I think here on table 2 we are often good, but I don't really see too much merit in betting. Not the greatest of rivers, don't really see much with the way the hand's gone, much if any point in betting it. I think we just check and probably fold. If he bets 4p or something like that, we snap him off. But anyway. We don't have too much information on these players. On this one, on table 1, we know a bit more. Mongo sitting here is a decent player. Can give us one or two problems. Sunil has a tendency to do some unusual stuff, and other than that we don't really know much about anybody. I think at these levels all you have to remember is you don't have to do anything too fancy, no 4-bet shoving with 9-7 suited, no leveling walls or anything like that. I think the key really is just to value bet at these levels. This is despite what I just said, this is I think we just check here. I mean, they almost never, ever have, never have anything there. This flat with 10 jack, arguably a bit rubbish. Don't think it's awful, but don't know. Certainly not folding for 10p. If another diamond rolled off, I think we could have had a kind of a bluff at it. Suspect that we will not be able to fold here either. Is this a bluffing situation? Get Nick Nud out of things, or should we just fold? I can't see us ever really being good here. Here we certainly peel 1 with 10 jack. Could have flush draws, could have ace 4, ace 5. He's got ace 5. We're in a spot of bother here. Leading again. I think as I know nothing and it's nothing about this player, and it's pot size bet, I think we can just fold and not hate ourselves. Certainly we're betting here with a flush draw. I think something like 55 pence, maybe 65 pence, maybe 56 pence is fine. Gets the job done. If that's the job that we wanted doing, I think we probably did. Quite happy with the fold. On table 2 here, our hand is not the greatest, is it? I think just check and probably fold. Do have some showdown value. We will call this 4 pence. Could have lots of 10 jacks and 7 eights and missed clubs and so on and so forth. And this player on the button raises, I think we just fold. Yeah, one thing I noticed yesterday, or sort of over the weekend, was that I am far, far looser than I realised. Here we don't really have HUDs. I don't know whether it's better to... I think this is probably better. They have HUDs, so a lot of it... Oh, flips. A lot of it's guesswork. That seems to have done it. I do like playing hands. I like hands and I like getting into spots and then trying to extract myself from those spots in a successful fashion. So yeah, I probably am a lot looser than a lot of players pre-flop. I would try and tone it down somewhat. Not the greatest time to play poker. 25 past 5 on a Monday afternoon in the summer. I think we can squeeze here with the 8s, can we? I think squeeze big and just kind of try and take it maybe a bit smaller. Crikey. We have one caller. Pretty good flop. Rare to flop an overpair when you've got 8s. Certainly not folding yet. Interested to see what this guy on my left does. If he jams or something, I think we just... this is just looking bleak, isn't it? I mean, does he have a 5 here ever? Again, I can't fold, I think, just now. I have to put him squarely on a 5. I think I call. Looks like a reasonably safe river. I know nothing about this player. I think. Okay. I think just check and hope we're good. I think we are good, aren't we? I can't really see. Okay. Maybe there's a bet there. I don't know. I think it's close. In fact, I think I don't really love the way I played any of those streets. I think once he checks the river, I should be value betting there, 90% of the time, really. Unless he just happens to have flopped the nuts. I mean, he wasn't far away. Still, I will be making mistakes. I do make lots of mistakes. I readily agree that I make lots of mistakes. I'm not like a lot of people who put out videos who think everyone's terrible. I tend to think everyone's quite good. at least give them credit. I certainly don't want to be disparaging towards players. I don't really like calling them fit. I mean, in my head, it's just horrible to them, but out loud, I don't want to be calling them fish and bad and swearing and all of these things. I just keep that internal. I just think, A, it's not a very nice way to conduct yourself, and B, I just feel for these people. If they stumble across a video and somebody's just there telling them how awful they are, not very pleasant. I think, if you're a winning poker player, you want to be encouraging losing poker players to carry on playing, not berating them. Can we do a little squeeze here? I think against this Swam fellow we perhaps can, although we are playing tight briefly. Let's just flap. Let's just be nitty. I think we can bet here with a backdoor straight and flush draws. All of that said, I mean, you aren't going to get the greatest players in the world playing at the lowest stakes on a site. Like I said, there's no one really to be too wary of that I can see so far. Suited ace here in the cutoff, I think, is a pretty standard raise. Not the worst flop. I think just something like 15 pence is cool. So I think this will be my one and only video at 4 now. There's no point kind of labouring over these levels. I think it's pretty clear what people do at them. They kind of limp call too much, they don't value bet enough, they don't really have much of a sense of position, and so on and so forth. I think we can peel here with a suited ace, and I think we can call one bet here and be inclined to give up on nasty turns like this one. We beat ace 4, we beat some other things. I don't really think this is a call, but at the same time I do think that we're getting 5-1, and I'm just sort of interested to see what he shows up with here. Just the pocket queens. If you were going into a shop and asking for a flop for ace jack of spades, and were offered something like this, you would take it. I think 23 pence is good. It will not be folding. So yeah, our focus will be very much on just, value betting is key. Just make hands and just pot them. Or pot jam them. But there's no real need to be check raising rivers with bluffs and these huge leveling walls pre-flop and things like that. I could call here, but it's very difficult to get too excited by it. We'll probably be seeing quite a lot of folding over the next 15 to 20 minutes. 6-8 needs a bit of help. Now needs a, pocket sevens again. Zwam looks like he may be okay. I think I prefer ISOing here though than the alternatives. It gives us a bit of momentum in the hand. We're in position. There are plenty of flops that we could get better hands to fold. If we do hit our set, then we are in a much better position. As for this, it's like just a thing of mine. I cannot fold to min bets. I think I just have to call. And now we're in a spot of bother, aren't we? Could he be doing this with the ace 10 and ace queen? It's possible. Could he be doing it with pocket fives? Highly unlikely. I mean, I know nothing about him. So just fold. I think folding pre, probably not squeezing and then not calling pre. So that's 2 mistakes. Probably about 5 or 6 mistakes made so far. Could have set mine with these twos, but I just think in a heads-up pot, I prefer to 3-bet really. And if we set mine, A, are we getting paid? B, is it just going to be the majority of the time check folding? Probably. I don't hate myself for just tossing away that hand there. I think sort of 7s plus we 3-bet. I'm going having a big think about this and sitting it out. Looking good for the queens. Not anymore, it's not. So lots and lots of folding. As you can probably see already, this is 2017, not 2007, and there is still a lot of limping going on. I mean, often even at these levels, we are more inclined to, in fact we probably will be doing a bit more of that, isolating and c-betting. I think it's a sort of pretty foolproof way of making money. I mean, I prefer to just get hands and value bet them, but a kind of marrying of the two things seems fine. In limp and a call, I think we can just check this. When we flop pairs, I'd just like to lead out. He's got something like ace-jack of clubs, then he folds or he calls. Either we are fine with. This ace-king we will not be folding. Not terribly worried about this king. I think now it's just a case of checking and either calling or folding, depending on how much he bets. I think we're good. Here we can see bet or out of position. We can just check call. We do have a note on this guy. We can pull down out of position with third pair. So I think just check call down. Don't love that river, but don't hate it. Still a ton of things we beat. Good. I don't know what we're doing with 75% of a stack here on table 2. This limping thing. So, okay, we're saying about isolating and then just c-betting. This is one case where we can do this. Here we can. Who raised it? Zwam. It just looks so awful. We're getting 1,000,000 to 1 here. Not the greatest of flops for us. I mean, we can try one c-bet. Players at this level, I think, are unlikely to notice sizing too much. Here we could maybe get into fold pocket 4s and 5s and things like that. Some other things that have equity against us, so it seems fine. Seems fine. Jack 3, well, I take back what I said about Zwam. New Malden. So playing on Sky Poker, probably have mentioned that. This is where we play a reasonable amount of our poker. It's where we're doing a Sky Poker diary, where we regale people with our tales of playing micro stakes. As well as this, I think either later today or tomorrow I'll put up a video of more 10NL, maybe even a few tables of 20NL. Wow. Wow. And as you noticed with a couple of hands earlier, like this ack hand on table 4, people don't bluff too much, and when they do, you can normally kind of get the measure of them. Here is a good example of just making a hand betting it. Any queen calls, any flush draw calls, maybe something as wide as pocket tens call. Equally, everyone just folds. Idiot. 7 up. Not too happy there. If razor limps again, we'll be doing this policy of isolationism. Not what we really want to see with 7-6 against two opponents. I think, their sort of calling range involves a lot of Broadway type hands, a lot of stuff that's going to connect with this. Don't even have a spade that we can barrel on. I think we're inclined just to give it up. If something really good happened, like a jack or queen peel, and it went check check, then we'd bet and maybe be inclined to bet again. I don't want to bet here and then just have to sort of check behind on rivers. This looks reasonable. Do we get called here by pocket eights? Do we just have a stab? Do we give up? I think a king calls, maybe even a 10 calls. I don't like it. I should have played this hand far differently. Yeah. I think here definitely ISO. Even though we're out of position, I think our hand's just too strong to flat there with. So flop. We can bet one straight, and there are a lot of great turns for us. 10 of diamonds being the best, probably. Can fold junky hands like this. Can raise ace 8, but out of position. I think again just rely on our hand strength to some degree. This jam on we could call 4 pence. This jam will not be being called. Goodness knows what it is. I would imagine it's something that beats us though. I think we'll try and stop this limping as much as possible. I think having an edge in pots and will make us want to play bigger pots. I think out of position here on table 2 with Jack Queen off. Not something to get terribly excited about. Sunil, who in the past been really active, 3 bet, limits are huge. So you can do all sorts of odd stuff. I think for those reasons we can just peel here. Just flat, sorry there. Play a pot in position. Bet and bet again, I don't mind doing it, I don't even mind if I'm called. Definitely be betting here. Oops. Got top pair on this board. Sad as it is, I think we do just have to fold. Enjoy it, Graham. Not connecting the best with flops, but we're not really hemorrhaging money, so that's good. Here against a sort of min open and a flat, I think out of position calling is fine. It looks as if we have the best starting hand, Texas Hold'em on table 1 and a raise. This will be 3-bet. You can just fold here and here, kind of just give up. I think Mongo probably thinks that we can 3-bet quite wide. I was hoping that he's thinking about a bit of something there. Even though we're in the small blind, I think we'll raise this ace-8. Now, I mean, I was calling this first jam. I think when the other guy jams over the top, I think we have to fold. It could be that we're up against 2 lots of back or ace-queen or something, but no. Well, sometimes they have it. Sometimes they have it. I think Slow Mobius is a reasonable player as well. So we've got 3 reasonable players here on our left. It's not the greatest position to be in. But I don't think any of them really push me too far out of my comfort zone. I think Craig C12 can do some interesting stuff from time to time. Has a big thing and folds. Flatting will not be going on here. I think we'll start here with a check and probably a. I imagine this goes check a fair amount of the time. If he bets, yeah, I mean he's betting quite big as well. I think we can just bet up. Here there are various backdoors, sorry, but we're out of position. I think 1 c-bet, small, and just be done. Here, we've been squeezing to 20 pence. I don't see no reason to change that. Pretty much shutting down here. Here we just bet, and we'll be betting again. Here we also lead. Looks a bit big, but I mean there's draws, and we do get called by all sorts. Got an open and straight draw on table up there. We'll do a bit of a squeezy thing here. Not sure we can call this with any sort of confidence. You just check all down here and here. Now we hit a pair. We have to kind of bet Graham. Does he do this with worse aces? Possibly. I mean, I know nothing about him, but we're getting over 4 to 1, and he's got 2 pairs somehow. I am surprised to see that. Pretty good hand on table 1. Really don't know if I like our call out on table. So you've got a choice between flatting and raising. I think with it being such a draw-heavy board, I'd be tempted to kind of get more money in now. If they've got any sort of flush draws, 2 pairs, or sets, they continue. We don't block any of those hands. Well, we block flushes to a degree. Nick Nude has a big thing. Where's he from? Southampton. This is good. So we just jam here. I don't think there's any point in messing around. No diamond. Oh. Wicked turn for us. Bournemouth v Southampton there in that hand, and it looks like it was a draw. Very good flop for us on table 1. Don't see any point at all in doing anything other than betting. Don't love this card, especially when he's pretty fiddle fold post flop. We'll start by checking. If he checks back, then we'll be betting rivers. If he bets here, it depends upon how much. I mean, are we ever good here? Is he doing this with ace jack? Could be doing it with ace jack and with the jack of clubs or something. It's a pretty good turn, isn't it? I think we fold here. This is a bad river as well. Kind of getting a bit beaten up here. I think with this note we fold. I think we do have to fold there. It's reasonably close, but I think with notes and things, I think with what I think he thinks of, with what he thinks of me as well. Pretty good flop for 8 and 8. We'll be betting once. I don't know if we need to go massive like that. I think 60p is cool. I mean, is there reason to be worried about a 9? Not really. Can't really see one at the moment. I think here just check and call. I think we just have to. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think we played that hand very well. I don't mind his call on the flop too much, but I think calling on the turn there is poor. My goodness, what a disaster this video is turning out to. Oh, and he just goes. I think that's the most annoying bit is when people just leave. I do try and make a point of staying. However, on a more positive note, we win. On a more positive note, we win king high, and on a further positive note, we have flopped the absolute coconuts here. Shame that nobody seems that interested, but I am going to go quite big. Just have to fold these pocket threes. We could have gone smaller and kind of got him to practically 0 cards that we're worried about on the. We'll do this flatting thing against Sunil. Very few turn cards we don't like the look of. Do we just jam? I think we do. Could look like a missed flush draw. I don't know what this massive. I mean, this game is puzzling. Seemed a fine amount to jam there. So yeah, I had all those 8s and then they kind of got beaten up there on the river. Which is a shame. Don't really know what he's doing calling down there. Or backdoor club and straight draws, but I think just fold. Ah! Nice turn. And nice river to have a little stab on. I don't think our stab would have been too successful. think we could just flat here with sixes. In fact, I prefer 3-betting. I don't mind betting here with the gut shot. We fold out loads of hands that are beating us. Like fours and fives and sixes and sevens and eights and nines would have all folded, I would have imagined. Now we are where we are. I think we get called by any ace. Check and beat 10-jack doesn't seem awful. Yeah, I don't see that ever folding. I think we can bet again there. Graham thinks for a while and folds. I think we can see bet this one over, it seems fine. We just fold this, and I think sort of a bit of a very slightly bigger because there's this extra blind of dead money in the pot. A 4 for the nuts, preferably not a red 4. Let's start to squeeze now with some pairs and things. Call 1, I don't know why, we're beating 0 things. So it's just to see what can happen on turns. Here now, just fold. And when Graham leaves again big, I think we fold. I quite like that little squeeze thing on all 3-bet on table 1. Does help when your cards match those in the middle. Good squeeze here. Out of position though, let's just see if we can hit some cards. We don't have to be sort of crushing every hand and trying to win every hand. I think it's a bit of a recipe for disaster, that. Certainly at these stakes, at this particular time. Top pair. Betting seems fine. Don't need to go quite that big. I think 40p is fine. Yeah, got a bit of a toss up between betting and just checking. I think we'll check. Could bet again here. In fact, probably will. There's a lot of rivers that we don't like. That 4 of spades fits the don't like rivers bill. Let's hope we're good. Good stuff. Could maybe have thought about that a bit more, but I think we're almost never really value betting there. Our flush draw has improved to a straight draw, but then we just get lumped on. Have to fold. It's just a bit of a shame, really. I think B versus B, we can raise this ace and 5. Good old flip situation here. Ace king flops pretty nicely, but not against sevens, it doesn't. Do we need to be squeezing here against Snail, or should we just carry on this batting business? Very good flop. Call with 10-9 on the button. And maybe call this ace-jack and see what develops. Often good here. I mean, could float 1, but I think betting pottish. Definitely calling here. Think just check. I mean, yeah, okay. Queen and 6. I mean, obviously he's never folding that. Should we just get it in against this dude? Do have some fold equity. You might fold pocket threes or something. We'd be happy about. And if we get it in, then we get it in. Even though we're in position, I don't think ace 5 is strong enough to really play against a 3-bet. Certainly cool one here. Not a turn card I would have chosen, but seems not one they would have chosen either. This is a flop I would have chosen. Very, very seldomly do I slow play this kind of stuff. But that was one instance where I felt like I could have done. Are we chopping? Are we chopping? I mean, we beat flush draws. This just seems an awfully low amount. Getting 5 to 1 for like either a chop or hands that we beat. Didn't expect to see that whatsoever. Squeezing this Nick Nude again. I think he might start to get a bit cheesed off with it. What did he have before? Well, we both had the nuts, didn't we? Don't like that tank. Normally means I am check raising you, but let's see. I mean, I think we'll struggle to fold this with all the draws out there. Definitely not folding now. I mean, if we're beaten, we're beaten, but we beat Queen 10, King 10. We don't want flush draws getting there. I think if he's got ace jack of clubs or something, then so be it. It's just one of them. I feel like we are beaten. Nope. Okay, that seems fine. It looks like Nick Need and I are always going to have the same hand and chop up pots. The grins. Bournemouth v Saints. Drawing all the time. So hilarity in the chat box. I think we can just lead out here with a pair. If you fold it pre, then you know. I think right. This looks like a dreadful peel, but look how small it is, and we have straight and flush draws. I mean, look at us now. There's no way this heart is not being banked. I think just call again and bank, and then what is this now? Beat King 10 and Ace 10 and a bunch of other things, pocket twos. I think we just check and fold though. Oh. Okay. Oh dear, so this looks like a losing session for our first one. Not really too much to talk about. A couple of flop the nuts here, but didn't really get paid that much. We had this hand here, this pocket eights hand here versus Ace King, where they called a 3-bet pre, called on the flop, called on the turn, and had about like nothing left behind on the river, and just picked the king, and then just left. That's quite an interesting hand. Other than that, there's not really a great deal of interest. I'd probably play a bit too loosely pre-flop. I could be tightening up here and there. But you might be able to see there's money to be made here, even though I haven't made money. Not too distraught the way I played. I think I played fine. A little splashily, but fine. I think I've been aggressive in the right spots, maybe. Cool here with the King of Clubs and a pair. Don't really want to be folding just yet, but third pair, he can call down with third pair. Can he bet with third pair? Who knows? As we were saying about betting, I mean, what do we think about just overbetting here? I often do this with misdraws as well, with like 10 jack or clubs. Let's try it with two pair and see where we get. We get a fold. Earlier on, I was trying similar things and getting called there with like second pair and things at 30.5. Waco on my right here is a good player. Seems to know what they're doing. Okay, so 5 more minutes and then we'll just shut this video down. Just the nuts for me there. I don't really want to print this page, do I? Ace Queen four-handed, any-handed is an open, I would say. So flop, I think we can just see better. Have no idea where we are in this hand. Could have a jack, he could have, if he did have 5-6, could have ace 2, ace 5, hands like that, I suppose. Although I think we are more inclined to just fold if he bets. That said, I don't mind hero calling down from time to time. Let's just peel one and see. Pretty ace. Well, let's just see. I mean, if he is bluffing, he will continue here, won't he? I am amazed at the amount of limping that goes on. I really am. We check raising this, I think. It's just remarkable. I think check raise. I may even fold though to. Nah. Looks like we're going to have to fire 3 barrels, I was going to say. Our hand is massively where is it? Looks like he's folding. Nuts here on table. You can just bet and bet here as well. Hopefully he's got, that will do. Not sure what to do on table 2, I think just fold. Very hard to think of one possible hand that we're beating. I mean, ace 5 was one contender. Even that's been snatched away from us there with that turn. I think we just fold. Did we go a bit big here? I don't think we did. Pot size bet, wasn't it? You know, sort of made it a bit bigger, if anything, to look bluffy. I think with that hand we maybe just squeak into profit. In fact, we are in profit, yeah, it seems. As this is the last hand on this table, we just raise it and stand. A bit bigger because of dead money in the pot. No, I don't really want to get stacked here with a bad hand that we're just playing. Because, whatever, but we can't fold now, and this guy can jam, and goodness me. Okay, so you just get yourself in stupid spots when you're When you're too loose pre-flop, you're just getting all sorts of odd kind of spots. And there's Chevy Chase and Fletch here. Pocket eights, which we seem to have had a lot of today. Get it in for flips, flipperments. Let's do it. Let's do it. These min raises often just mean I have. Well, it's often ack or aces, but we can't fold on this board. Maybe queens or something. Jack queen. Uh-oh. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm not really sure. Is that is that what you should be doing? You know, just see they've got a nice safe board for Jack Queen and get it in there. Really don't know. Don't really like the way they played that. The min bet pre, I don't particularly understand. Certainly don't understand then the call pre. I mean, jamming sort of okay, I think it's fine. But then on the flop, I think that's one that you can really just let go. One more hand to get our money back, and we will not be we need to stand from here as well. Not be getting about a Jack 3. Okay, well, here endeth my first video. I'll be putting more up. I mean, lots and lots, maybe even as many as 2 a day, because I'm playing a lot at the moment, and if anything, I probably prefer talking when I'm playing. So if I'm going to be talking and playing anyway, why not record them? But thank you for watching. How do I get out of this shit? What should we call this video? Jack suited, I think, is good. Okay.